Clean my saddle with me while I answer some questions that you guys commented. I think a good question to start with is, what is the worst fall I've ever had? The worst fall I've ever had was with okay, so this is hard because I've had one that hurt really bad and then one that like scared me the worst, so I'll just say both. The first one that happened was when I was at a lesson barn. This really old, scrawny mare Chloe just like hopped. Like, not even hopped. I just had no seat. Like, I had no idea even what happened. Like, it wasn't even that long ago. It was like a year. Lost my balance somehow. She was basically just cantering and she threw her head down a little bit. And I flopped off. I was so tired. That was probably why I was sick too. And I hadn't fallen off in like a long time, so. And it hurt my tailbone really bad because I landed right on my tailbone. And then the next one was only a couple weeks afterwards. So I had just bought this horse. He was super chill when we first bought him. And then I think it was the first or second lesson that I had while owning him. It was a jump lesson, and we were just going up to a fence, and this trainer was very serious about, don't circle. It will, like, if you're in a, imagine if you're in a show, like, you would ruin your time. Like, don't circle ever. Like, oh, I really wish I circled because this terrified me. Like, it made me afraid of this horse. He was like cantering pretty fast, and then all of a sudden he was just building and building and building on speed, and then he all of a sudden, just right before the jump, he just started galloping. And then after the jump, he just kept on kind of galloping, and I wasn't expecting it. He was so chill. Before that, I didn't really have as well of a seat then, so I didn't also know how to stop him. No one told me how to stop a horse taking off at that point. He was pretty much galloping. We almost hit the fence, so he kind of like dodged it. He went to the side, and I fell off the side of him, and I was okay. Like, my back hurt a little bit afterwards, but it was definitely the most scary fall I've had. I was very, very, like, scared of him after that, and actually, he did that in almost every jumping lesson after that. So the two next questions kind of correspond with each other. So one is, what age did you start riding? And another one is, how did I get into riding? So I'm gonna start with what age I started riding. Basically, I started almost, like, I had horses around me my whole life. But I started like seriously riding probably 5 years ago. I've always ridden horses, like I've always been around them and stuff like that. But how I got into riding was pretty simple. I mean, my mom was an inventor. She had to get a break from that, and well, I was born and she immediately stopped inventing because it was really dangerous. Like, a bunch of people had died that year from inventing. So she stopped inventing and more focused on dressage, what she loved most anyways. And she then went into like pre-St. George, like level 4 dressage. And so yeah, she was just training at that level. I think she was showing at that level sometimes maybe. And then I grew up a little bit, and of course we had horses around us pretty much all the time. So I, of course, wanted a pony of my own. My grandma bought me a pony when I was like 4. He was just this little mini. He was like pretty short. He was this black horse named Bo. I don't remember him, but I've seen photos of him. He was super naughty, and then so we had to get rid of him because I was 4. I didn't know how to ride. But then the next ponies, we never owned them, but a friend that had lended us the ponies. They were little minis. One was Poto, one was Comet. I do remember them. I have very vivid memories of them. And then since they were minis, I kind of outgrew them. So I went on to this horse named Allie. She was also quite naughty. And we didn't keep her for long because she was a very good jumper and she would jump over fences. And then also then after that we got this horse Turbo. I kept him for the longest. Turbo was a Pasquino. He was pretty short. He wasn't like mini size because I rode him until I was like 10. And then for a short period of time, I leased out this horse named Indy, and that's kind of when I like really started to like actually ride. And, like I was like, oh, I want to do this. And I was like, a long time ago. But so yeah, and then I got rid of him and kept on riding Turbo. I was a little scared of Indy, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so I started riding Turbo again, and then I got Cardi, and Cardi I had for 4 years, and I sold her probably like a year and a half to a nice lesson barn. But she's basically how I started riding. Yeah, she got me riding like my mom was riding all the time, and actually right when I started to ride her, that is when my mom started to kind of take a break from riding. Like she hasn't ridden since. But yeah, that's how I got into riding. Next two questions also kind of correspond. So the first one is, what is my least favorite horse breed? Okay, so I wouldn't say I would have like an absolute least favorite, like I just hate one breed, but there are some that I don't find that I would ever buy or ride. But this is just my opinion. So I have a couple that are just like iffy for me, especially my saddle keeps on falling. Anyways, I'd say probably an Akeltec. Akelteki? I don't know how to say it really, but Akeltec is how I think you say it. But anyways, you probably know what I mean. So that would be one of my not favorites. And any other ones? Maybe like just gaited horses. Like I'm not really into stuff like that. So it wouldn't really make sense for me to have a gaited horse because I'm a show jumper. The next question is what is your favorite horse breed? So I'd say my favorite, that's hard because like every horse is kind of their own, you know, like not every thoroughbred is going to be the same, not every warm blood is going to be the same, but with my experience, I've never like owned a warm blood. My mom has had a warm blood. I've had a thoroughbred, a quarter horse, and currently have an Irish sport horse, and then I am kind of riding a warm blood. But from that experience, I'd say my favorite is an Irish sport horse because the one I'm currently riding, I absolutely love her. And I just think they're really sleek because warm bloods are bigger boned. So like it is typically like in show jumping, typically you want kind of a thinner, more movable horse because that's what's gonna get you the fastest time. You don't want a big, stocky warm blood that's meant for dressage or anything. Oh my god, I can't get it. So you don't want a giant warm blood. So that's why I would probably say Irish sport horse because it's just simple. It's simple and quite a broad breed. I feel like there's a lot of variation to Irish sport horses. So that's one of the pluses. Like you never know what you're gonna get, kind of. But other than that, I do really like warm bloods, thoroughbreds, and quarter horses can be good too. But also kind of more meaty. Not quite what I'm looking for, but I'd say overall my favorite breed would be an Irish sport horse. Question is, if you didn't do show jumping, what other discipline would you do? So this is a hard one because Arizona is mainly hunters and show jumpers. I'm a show jumper, like I said, but I'm not very into hunters, like very expensive horses, very stocky horses, typically all like big boned warm bloods, and it's all kind of slow pace, more exaggerated movements. It's not quite for me. So and there's no really like I haven't found any like eventing barns. Not that I would just love eventing. Like there was one eventing barn, but that's kind of hard to explain what happened there. But I would probably maybe go into eventing or dressage if I had to pick a different discipline. I do really like dressage, but cross country scares me. So maybe I would be open to hunter jumper because honestly, sometimes it's pretty similar. Like if you're gonna jump off in hunters, pretty much the same as show jumping, except you're just also showing your horse's movement. So, yeah, maybe any of those. I'd probably stick to English. Maybe actually, I take that back because Western is so cool. Like, I love English, but at the same time, I kind of wish I was one of those girls born on a giant ranch that would just go bareback out into the fields. Like, yeah, I know there's English people who do that, but come on, like, cowgirls, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Two questions are also kind of similar. What is your favorite horse to ride currently? Can we see a picture? Okay, so I'll put a picture of her up on the screen. So her name's cute. She's really one of the only horses I'm riding. Like I said, I am riding that big stocky warm blood, but honestly, I'm not a big fan of how big she is. She has 17 hands around, which isn't like giant. giantly thick, and she's a very plump horse. She's meant for eventing. She went into like 2 star or something, and she's 14. She's just not my favorite, you know. Like there's some horses that you just click with, and others you don't. And her, I don't not click with her. I just didn't really. There's nothing that's. There's nothing that I'd say like absolutely catches my eye about her. I do love her. She's very nice. Her name's Symphony, and then the one I've been mainly riding, her name's Q, like I said, and Q is an Irish sport horse, very small, very sleek. She's 5 years old, and honestly, I just enjoy riding her so much. Like right now, she's lame. She's been lame for the past 3 weeks, and I'm just like sick of it. Like I want to ride her again. She's my absolute favorite ride. Like I love her. Like I just want to ride her again. But yeah, she's my current favorite ride. And then the next question that was kind of similar is, who is your favorite horse to ride, like ever, that's ever ridden, or like that I've ever owned? And I would have to say probably my Irish sport horse, and if not, the one who took off with me. And I was terrified of him. And you know why? Because we were like best friends. Like when we were not riding. Like honestly, he was just such a good boy. Like he was one of those goofy geldings. Sometimes he reminded me of a mare. Like he was just so funny. Like he's definitely not nice, but I loved him. He was so good. Like I feel like now I would be probably less terrified of him. I feel like Q has been building my confidence so much. But yeah. Oh yeah, I'd say Q is currently my favorite horse to ride. Out of all the horses I've ever ridden, Q is probably my favorite. The next question is, what is the tallest I've ever jumped? So actually, I do have to say, I have never jumped that high. I only started jumping about a year ago with the horse who really knocked my confidence. His name is Kai. But I've never jumped as high as I did with him. And before that, I was more of a flat work person. And I just have been recently on this 5-year-old that we're trying to just kind of get going. And since she's lame right now, we haven't been able to jump her yet. So it's just kind of like I'm in this position where I'm probably not progressing. I might even be going backwards. But anyways, let's get to the point. I've jumped probably 2.6, which I know is a lot. But I feel like sometimes you just need flat work for a month straight. Like sometimes jumping is not the root of your problems. Like if you're a bad jumper, work on flat work. Don't work on jumping unless if it's a problem with like your position over a jump, maybe work on jumping. But in between the jumps, sitting astride, stuff like that, pole work, flat work, everything. Like that's the best for you at that point in time. And honestly, I'm very happy with not jumping. It's not like I'm just like craving jumping so bad. I'm craving riding my horse because I haven't ridden her in so long. I just want to ride her. Like I don't want to ride my big bulky one Symphony. I want to ride Q, my little 16-hand petite horse. Like, the next question is, are you planning on becoming a full-time influencer? And the answer is, you know what, maybe. Like I would love to just have a life of filming and vlogging with my horses every day. That sounds amazing. Once I get out of school, like that would honestly be so cool. Like all the sponsored brands and stuff. Like honestly, that could be a goal. That could be something I would really want to do. And I am honestly really hoping my channel like blows up like Harlow and Esme and Megan and just everyone like that, because I literally like aspire to be them. Like they're so cool. Like in the long game, in the long plan. Wait, what does this say? I don't know. But in the long run, yes, that would be really cool. Honestly, like I would love that. Like I would probably only post equestrian stuff, but you know, I'm open to other things, and I would love to become an influencer. Like so chill, film a video, then you're done. Next question is quite creative, and I honestly love it. What is your thought on horsey shows, Heartland and Free Rein, and like any other like horsey show you can do? So I have watched Free Rein all the way through because it's shorter than Heartland. I went right up to maybe season 12 on Heartland, and you know that's when it starts to go downhill. And my mom has watched till like season 15. She says it's not worth going that long. Like don't even waste your time on it. I know people are really loving it, but I'm not loving it. Like not for me. After Ty died, I don't even know when he died. Like I don't know when I left off, but it was somewhere around season 12. Like it could have been before, could have been after. But I really wasn't doing Heartland after all. But I do have to say, one of the best horse shows, that was not in the towel, one of the best horse shows out there. Like, one of the most, okay. When I say realistic, I mean like for horse shows, you know, like equestrian shows, they're just never gonna be perfect. So yes, it is actually a pretty realistic one. Amber Marshall, she has horses in her life, and I feel like that kind of bring it out. And also, I love Georgie. I love Georgie. Like, I loved Valerie. Oh, I love Valerie, and I was really sad when she left. But Georgie is also amazing too. Anyways, back to Free Rein. Free Rein, obviously, not very realistic, but very entertaining show. And you know what I hate? As much as I've done this myself, people complaining about shows that have horses. Like, oh my god, Raven has the most giant bit in his mouth ever, but somehow he's completely wild and you can't even touch him. It's a show. It's meant for like little girls who aspire to be horse girls. Like chill. It's not meant for full-grown adults analyzing every single move. Like, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Like, in Heartland too, sometimes you just gotta chill. Like, it's not that serious. It's really just a show. And yeah, maybe a giant bit in his mouth that is really extremely wild isn't the best thing, but there's nothing you can do about it. And does it really matter? Does it affect the show? It's a lot of shows are just supposed to be entertaining. There's something for you to occupy yourself with. And equestrian shows, they are hard to make, and a lot of producers aren't equestrians themselves or know much about horses. So yeah, it's gonna be hard. And I feel like I'm just glad that there is some equestrian shows. And yeah, there is some that I just cannot stand watching because it's like, what are you doing? But you know what? Sometimes you gotta deal with it. So yeah. Next question is, do you own a horse? The answer is no. I do not currently own my own horse, but I also don't live in a lesson barn. So this might be a little hard to explain. And yes, I know I'm very lucky that I got in this situation, but my mom's friend, who used to live in Washington, moved to Arizona like 2 years ago. Like 2 years ago. 2 years ago. I don't know, something like that. And we moved about a year ago, approaching up to. So she probably actually lived here for 3 years. But so we're approaching on 2 years. So basically, she moved down here first, and we also lived in Washington before here. So we were friends in Washington. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, like a couple months ago, she was like, "Hey, you should do my hair," because my mom's a hairstylist. She was like, "Hey, I think you should do my hair." And they made an appointment, started talking, and then she was like, "You know what? Stella should come and ride my horse. I have this 14-year-old horse named Symphony. You know her. Like, we had her as a foal when we were up in Washington. Like, blah 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 and all this stuff." And my mom was like, "Oh great, she's a schoolmaster, amazing." And then we went there like a month later because she was gone. She was gone on vacation for some reason. But so a month later, we came to her place, which has a barn. It's not a boarding barn. She just has her own barn, and we visited them. We exercised the horses because they haven't been exercised in probably like a year. And when we got there, the woman was like, "So I have a proposal for you. There's this horse, Q. She's 5 years old. She's super broke, super tame, but somehow she's not passing her vet checks. She's imported from Ireland for my daughter. She is a prospect and blah blah blah. This might look a little weird, but she's super sweet. She's already like gotten schooling and everything." And I was like, "Oh my god, that'd be so great. We've been trying to find something good for her for a really long time." And then so basically she got shipped here, and the rest is history because I don't want to really tell the full story. But yeah, I mean, we've been riding for a while now together, and I just love her. And I'm hoping in the next couple of years we can end up buying her after my mom's friend breeds her and everything, and so that'll be just great. And I just love her like she's my own, and I can treat her like she's my own because this is my mom's like really good friend. I just want to make a little bit of an announcement that the saddle that I'm currently cleaning is for sale. It is, I'll show photos and I'll put the link on the eBay in the description, but it is a Steuben, I think it's a 16, maybe 16.5, maybe 16.5. It's really nice. I've loved it. But sadly I'm a little too big for it. I am 5'7" ish. Like, there's no way I'm under 5'7", maybe a little taller than 5'7". But my boot kind of clips at the end. I'm barely too tall for it. My boot kind of clips at the end, and I've ridden in the saddle for like since I was like 10. I've had it for about 4 years now. It's held up so nicely. I have taken pretty good care of it. I'm surprised. But it works super well. And I just love it. And I honestly wish I wouldn't get rid of it, because look at it. It's really nice. And it does come with the stirrups. I'll show them in a bit. And I've been cleaning it, freshly cleaned. It's on my eBay that I will put in the description. But very nice, very nice. I'm oiling it right now, so it's nice and clean. I'm honestly gonna miss it because I've had it for so long and it's worked really, really well. I wish I had another Steuben, but I don't. I love Steubens, and I know everyone's like on the Voltaire thing right now, but Steuben's the way to go. Okay. If you have more of a skinny back horse, I suggest it. Anyways, I'm done cleaning my saddle. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I went through all the questions, so thank you to anyone who commented. And check out